Hello friends, welcome to a new topic today. In this topic, let us now learn about mood disorders. Okay, in the mood disorders, first we will learn about the mania. We will just learn the method of how mania has been, what are the hypotheses or what are the causative agents of mania, and then we go in detail about the drugs which are used in the treatment of mania. So if you see mania, in this mania you have different types of hypothesis. In the that is, there are three main hypotheses, which are serotonergic hypothesis, noradrenaline hypothesis, and dopamine hypothesis. In serotonergic hypothesis, these will mainly cause decrease in 5-HT release or serotonin release. Okay, so these will cause decrease in serotonin release, and as a result this will cause aggressiveness, impulses, and suicidal tendencies. So serotonergic hypothesis is involved. This will decrease 5-HT release and thus involved in aggressiveness, impulses, and suicidal tendencies. In noradrenergic hypothesis, in this mania there is increased noradrenaline, and in dopamine hypothesis there is increased dopamine is reported in mania. So because of increased dopamine, there is increased energy and talkativeness seen in mania disorders. Okay, so if you see, in mania there is mostly increased neurotransmitters leading to increased intracellular signaling, thus resulting in mania, which is a hyperactive disorder. Now if you see the drug of choice, what is the drug of choice of mania? Remember, the drug of choice of mania is lithium. So let us now learn about lithium in detail. So what is this? This is a pathway of noradrenaline activating or increasing the response. So if you see, this noradrenaline will activate the receptor, and this will activate GP alpha, that is G protein alpha type, and as a result this G protein alpha subunit will now activate phospholipase C. This phospholipase C converts phosphoinositol phosphate diphosphate to phosphoinositol to IP3 and DAG. Okay, this IP3 will cause calcium mobilization leading to response, or this DAG activates protein kinase C. This protein kinase C also results in response. This IP3 now forms inositol phosphate. This inositol phosphate forms inositol. This inositol and again undergoes phosphate group and it forms inositol monophosphate, then inositol diphosphate, phosphoinositol diphosphate. So if you see, this lithium will inhibit conversion of inositol phosphate to inositol and thus inhibits this pathway completely. So lithium has one more role. This lithium also decreases the release of noradrenaline and dopamine, and it also replaces sodium activity, and thus there is decreased sodium and thus there is no action potential reported. Next, once we have seen that, now let us see the actions of lithium. See, lithium has actions on CNS. On CNS, it is a mood stabilization agent, and it suppresses the episodes of mania. Because it is mood stabilizing agent, it will stop the suppresses the episodes of mania. Second, lithium inhibits ADH. Because it inhibits ADH, it increases urine production, thus causing diabetes insipidus like action. So a prolongation of this side effect is, it can cause side effect which is diabetes insipidus. Then lithium also decreases the blood glucose level. Because it decreases the blood glucose level, it can cause insulin like action, which can also cause side effect which is hypoglycemia. Then if you see, this insulin also inhibits T3 and T4 and it increases TSH. So these are the main actions of lithium. Then what about the pharmacokinetics? If you see pharmacokinetics, this lithium, most important thing is it has narrow therapeutic index, and because of this narrow therapeutic index, we have to monitor the therapeutic drug monitoring is very important in lithium. Then if you see, the therapeutic range of lithium is 0.6 to 1.5 milli equivalent per liter is the therapeutic range of lithium. So this 0.6 to 1.5 milli equivalent per liter is therapeutic range. So what is the dosage for prophylaxis of lithium? Prophylaxis we use 0.6 to 1 milligram per milli equivalent per liter, whereas for acute mania we give the dosage as 1 to 1.5 milli equivalent per liter. If there is more than 1.5 milli equivalent per liter, then we can call it to be toxicity. Okay, so before we go into toxicity, first we will see side effects. What are the common side effects of lithium? The common side effects of lithium are GI side effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It can cause leukocytosis. Okay, it can cause diabetes insipidus, that is nephrogenic diabetes insipidus can occur due to lithium. Then it can cause tremors. Most commonly it causes coarse tremors. Okay, it is teratogenic, that is it is implicated in Epstein anomaly. It can cause hypothyroidism. Decreased T wave amplitudes can occur due to lithium, and also it causes decreased SA nodal and AV nodal conduction, and thus it is contraindicated in 6 sinus syndrome. It is contraindicated in 6 sinus syndrome. These are the side effects. What are the GI side effects? Which is nausea, vomiting and diarrhea, leukocytosis, diabetes insipidus, which is nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, teratogenic, that is Epstein anomaly, hypothyroidism, decreased T wave amplitude, decreased SA node and AV nodal conduction, and thus because it decreases SA nodal and AV nodal conduction and it has decreased T wave amplitude, it is contraindicated in 6 sinus syndrome. Then the next thing is about lithium toxicity. So lithium toxicity can be divided into mild, moderate, severe. We call lithium toxicity as mild if the dosage is 1.6 to 2 milli equivalent per liter, and the toxic effects include apathy, irritability, lethargy, musculoskeletal weakness, nausea and vomiting. What are they? Apathy, irritability, lethargy, musculoskeletal weakness and nausea and vomiting. Then we have moderate effect. Moderate effect shows 2 to 2.5 milli equivalent per liter, and in this moderate effect there is neurotoxicity and Parkinson's like symptoms are reported. Neurotoxicity includes convulsions, delirium and coma, and you will also see Parkinsonism like symptoms. Then the severe toxicity occurs if it is more than 2.5 milli equivalent per liter. If it is more than 2.5 milli equivalent per liter, you see severe toxicity, where you see nephrotoxicity and cardiotoxicity. In nephrotoxicity, you see nocturia and renal tubular acidosis are reported. In nephrotoxicity, nocturia and renal tubular acidosis are reported, whereas in cardiotoxicity, QT prolongation, ST changes and conduction delays are reported. Next, what are the treatment of this toxicity? There is no specific antidote is reported. There is only bicarbonate infusion is seen, and you can also do hemodialysis. Hemodialysis is done if there is acute phase. Hemodialysis is started if it is more than 4 milli equivalent per liter. In chronic cases, it is started if the dose of lithium is more than 1.5 milli equivalent per liter. Okay. Next, what are the indications of lithium? If you see, lithium can be used in acute mania, where you add benzodiazepines to lithium because it takes some time for lithium to start its action. So during that period you will have to add benzodiazepine so that the action is maintained. Then you can also use this in bipolar disorder. Actually, the lithium is drug of choice for prophylaxis, acute mania and chronic mania. Lithium can also be used in cluster syndrome, and it can also be used in Feltis syndrome like rheumatoid arthritis. What is Feltis syndrome? Feltis syndrome is rheumatoid arthritis with splenomegaly with neutropenia. We call it Feltis syndrome. In Feltis syndrome also lithium can be used. Then I have said about this. Okay, what is the drug of choice in lithium in pregnancy? Drug of choice for lithium in pregnancy include atypical antipsychotics. This is important. In fact, drug of choice for mania in pregnancy is atypical antipsychotics, whereas drug of choice for lithium induced diabetes insipidus is amiloride. Drug of choice for lithium induced diabetes insipidus is amiloride. Then what are the interactions? Interactions include, this lithium, if used along with diuretics, it causes resorption of these diuretics causes resorption of lithium in proximal convoluted tubule, and thus lithium dosage is increased. When these are used along with tetracyclines, NSAIDs or ACE inhibitors, there is lithium retention is noted. This lithium can also be combined if used along with insulin or sulfonylureas. It causes hypoglycemic episodes. If it is used along with succinylcholine or pancuronium, it causes prolonged paralysis. If this lithium is used in along with neuroleptics, it increases rigidity and tremors. Okay, so this is about the lithium and mood stabilizing drugs. Thank you guys for watching my lecture. In the next class, I will explain about antidepressants. Thank you.